All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all Yoakim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And it's the brother Kwara Abad from the GMS Houston County. And I want to go into another lesson, and Lord willing to be edifying. But where it stems from, I was, my new reading assignment, my personal reading assignment that I got. I just started the book of Deuteronomy, try to go ahead and tackle that, But so I was reading the first chapter, and nevertheless, 1 through 3 so far as I'm in it, Moses. And then we're gonna read it here in a few, but Moses, he was giving a rundown on everything they just did, the places they went, describing where we went here first, then we came through the land of Edom, then we made our way through the land of Moab, then we killed this king, we had to do that, and the point is, it hit me as I was reading is how couldn't help but think about how back then our journey to, which is the land of Canaan, but the land of Israel, on our way to the land of milk and honey, the land that was promised unto our fathers, that was going to be an everlasting inheritance unto us, which we're going to go back to that land, But nevertheless, when you go read back then, our journey to that land, we had to take down certain nations, put to death certain kings and people and take over their lands, right? In other words, putting our foot down, on our way to our land, marking our territory, in other words. But nevertheless, taking other kings and nations out the way, you know. But the point of the lesson is that I couldn't help but think about how that's going to happen again, And once we come off those chariots, on the way to that land again, on the way to that land of milk and honey, because it's prophesied Yahweh Shai going to take us back. Now I don't know specifically, how it's going to happen, but I do know when we come off those chariots, we're going to proceed to take over the world, man. Just as the time of old, right? Going into that land, they took over certain kings, stopped certain strongholds, put to death certain nations, right? And we established our dominion. Hey, even King David, 12 tribes, when King David came, and what's going to be established in the kingdom? The throne of David, man. The throne of David. So again, once the throne of David come down from off those chariots, we're going to do the same things we did of old, man, and establish dominion in the earth, break certain strongholds. King David set up garrisons in other nations, which your modern day garrison would be like Esau setting up embassies in all these other nations, man. But we gonna do the same exact things. We gonna take over these nations on the way to establishing our power in the earth. And first and foremost, with our Lord Yahweh Shai, he gonna do the bidding first and foremost. But nevertheless, I'm gonna get straight into it. Let's get this real quick. There's Revelation 21, and I'm gonna start at 2. Now this is John. Now let's just read it. Revelation 21 and 2, it says, "And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven." Now this ain't an actual city, the actual kingdom, streets paved with gold, amethyst, mansion, No, remember Yahweh Shai said the kingdom ain't gonna come with observation. Look over here, look over there. He said it's within us. So right here, what the Apostle John is seeing is the elect, those who will get beamed up at the coming of our Lord. Get beamed up, and while we up there, eventually get crowned. Hear what the Lord got to tell us. Their reunion after all these years of being away from our Lord. Eventually, we're going to have to come back down off the chariot. And this is what the Apostle John is seeing. He's seeing the elect coming down out of the chariot, right? Babylon the Great is burning at this time. Other nations been on earth fearing, like in Revelation 18, it says they feared and cried, weeping and wailing when Babylon got destroyed. Well, look, we will be coming down at this time. It says, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, further proving that is people, because it says prepared as a bride for a husband, which is that's the elect. But let me get this real quick, because I do want to get those accounts that I read in Deuteronomy, just like a quick glimpse of what's a shadow of things to come. But when we come down out them chairs, this was going to happen. This is Daniel 7. And matter of fact, the point I want to get real quick is in 18, but I'm going to start up. So this Daniel 7 and 15. It says, and I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. Now this after Daniel got the visions of the beast, which is the of different beasts, should I say that, of different beasts, which was symbolic for the heathens that was going to rule, start with Babylon. Babylon, the Medo-Persians, you had Greece, Rome, and down to that little horn that we in today, down to America, the feet and the toes. Right? So Esdras was troubled about what he seen. Verse 16, so he said, I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So Daniel said, what does all this mean? What this beast with this, these horns mean? What, the wings on the back? What all this mean? It says, so he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. Right? And we with Babylon, Medo-Persians, Greece, and Rome. You see? And eventually America came. But it says, but this is the conclusion of the matter. It says, verse 18, but, so after these heathens rule, which we're at the end of their rulership, it says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So once we come off those chariots, that's why I want to start with Revelation 21. Once we descend and come down in our perfection, then we will proceed to what? Daniel 7 and 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. We go around the world, and these nations who still here, because look, everybody ain't gonna be destroyed. The world ain't gonna be destroyed. No, Babylon and Great America will get obliterated with missiles, get utterly destroyed with missiles, and will never be built back up again. What's another place that's gonna get hit with missiles? The land of Israel. Our land gonna have to get hit with missiles and get cleansed up with that by that fire. But the difference is our land gonna get built back up again. Certain nations, we go around the world who might try to fight back. You feel me? Might put up a little fight. Right? But they gonna see us in those perfect bodies. They gonna feel. They gonna see that power on us, you know? And but right, we gonna take them down, man. All these military weapons they still have, we go burn them up, burn them up, as it said in Ezekiel 39, and we go further put them into slavery. That's what's gonna happen. We gonna do this again. Once we went into the land of Israel the first time, we took down certain nations. We gonna do it again, even on a greater scale. The house of David in perfection, man. But it says, right, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Right? Let's get I'm gonna get this first. I was go get the accounts, but I do want to get this first, real quick, and I'm gonna go to that Deuteronomy just to get a quick example on what we're talking about. But let's get this. This is Daniel, because this is Yahweh Shai setting up the house of David right here. When he come back, he gonna set up the house of David, and from there, all kingdom and power will be taken out the earth and given into Yahweh Shai and his men. Here it is. This 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. It says, nope, I'm gonna start at 22. 1 Corinthians 15 and 22. It says, for as in Adam all die, and even so in Mashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order, going into the time of salvation, when Yahweh Shai come to start beaming up his elect, who gonna be made perfect and alive first, it says, but every man in his own order, right? It says Mashiach is Yahweh Shai the first one. He's the chief cornerstone, the head of the corner, so he's the first one. It says Mashiach. Next it says the first fruits, that's the 144,000 prophets, man. That's the government of the kingdom of heaven, the governing body, the house of David. The 144,000. So it's Yahweh Shai, the 144,000. It says, and afterward, they that are Mashiach's at his coming, which is the believers, the 1/3. And then from there it says, then, right? So once the elect get saved, it says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet. So after the elect get beamed up, then Yahweh Shai and the elect will proceed to put down all rule, all authority, and power. For the Lord must reign first and foremost, and then we gonna be joined theirs with him, and we gonna put all enemies under our feet, man. Under our feet. But again, this ain't nothing new. The scripture says nothing is new under the sun. You know? The scripture say nothing is new under the sun. Let's get a quick example. And there's other examples, I'm sure, in the scriptures to kind of, highlight what I'm speaking on. But like I said, I'm in Deuteronomy right now. I'm a little reading assignment. And this will spark my spirit as I was reading. Now here it is. This Deuteronomy 2, right? Now this is Moses, giving a rundown on everything they just been through. Right? You see Deuteronomy 2:1, it says, then we turned and took our journey into the wilderness by the way of the Red Sea, as Yahweh spake unto me, and we compassed Mount Seir many days. But I'm going to go down to the point. And verse 24. Now again, we go into our land, and this is what the Lord had us doing. Just like in these times, once we come off them chariots again, and being the process of going back to our land, we're going to do these same things, take down kings and nations. This is the Deuteronomy 2:24. It says, rise ye up, take your journey, and pass over the river Arnon. Behold, I have given into thine hand Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. See, and his land. And begin to possess it and contend with him in battle. You feel me? So look, once we come off them chairs, we might pull up in Russia. Yeah, Putin, where you at? Putin, come on out, man. Him and Russians, right? And we may have to contend with them. You may have a couple little guns, guns left. We got to contend with them. Right? It says, in this day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven. When we come down from the chariots, the world gonna see like these are the people of the Lord, without a doubt. These is not niggas and Mexicans and wetback. No, these is the people of the Lord. They gonna see the power. They gonna witness it. They gonna behold it on us. Right? And that's gonna put fear in them. Again, remember when the Lord took us out of Egypt? What Rahab said, we fear you. We fear your power. We heard what he did for you. We seen it. We heard about it. We fear him and y'all because of that. And she understood and said, look, I know the Lord gave y'all this land. How much more in these times where we ain't just go walk through water, or the Lord split the sea and we walk through the water on dry land, and he smashed it and closed it on Egyptians. The nations feared and trembled over that. How much more when they see in this time people get beamed up off the soils of the earth into UFOs to escape judgment, and then see those same people who went up in regular bodies come down in extraterrestrial bodies with power? Niggas? Dominicans and Haitians and Mexicans and Puerto Ricans. Yes, those same people they seen go up, leaving captivity, will come out them same chariots as they seen us go up, shall so come down in like in like manner, in perfection. That's gonna put the ultimate fear into these people, man. How much more if it did back then when we just walked through the sea? That's why I said it shall be no more said the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But it shall be said the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel from the north country, America, and from all the lands, whether they have been scattered, man. This is what we talking about right now. So how much more when we come these nations go feel? Let's read it again. So like it for the rent. Deuteronomy 22 and 25, it says, this day, so when we come down, and of course this is in this context, but as I'm reading it, I'm speaking about us as well. Which the prophets did that a lot. They'll actually be talking about like Jeremiah. Let's say Jeremiah 50 and 51. He was actually prophesying against his actual Babylon, but sometimes a verse later he'll speak in spirit about the Babylon here today. We do the same thing. But it says, this day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear the report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee. And I sent messages out of the wilderness of Kedemmoth unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace. Right? It says, verse 30, but Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by, for the Lord thy power hardened his spirit and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into thy hand, as it appeareth this day. And Yahweh said unto me, behold, I have begun to deliver Sihon and his land before thee. Begin to possess it, that thou mayest inherit his land. Again, remember, we go inherit the earth. So these nations who got power right now in the earth, in lands like China and Russia and, and whatever, Africa, and you see certain parts of Europe, we gonna go there and we gonna take them lands and possess them lands and inherit them lands. They gonna be ours now, and we gonna use these heathens to build it back up. And it says, then Sihon came out, and he and all his people, to fight at Jahaz, and our power Yahweh delivered him before us, and we smote him and all his sons and all his people, and we took all his cities at that time, and utterly destroyed the men and the women and the little ones of every city. We left none to remain. Only the cattle we took for a prey unto ourselves, and the spoil of the cities which we took. you know. So that's what was going on. The Lord was letting us get busy. When we on the way to our land to get our possession, we took other possessions from other people, man. Let's get another example. It's Deuteronomy 3 and 1. It says, then we turned and went up the way to Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. And the Lord said unto me, fear him not, for I will deliver him and all his people and his land into thy hand. And thou shalt do unto him as thou did unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon. And so the Most High Yahweh delivered into our hands Og also, the king of Bashan, and all his people. Right, this. So we got Putin already. Right now we going to get Kim Jong-un now. You see? Hey, really, not even them, no. That's just puppets. First and foremost, we gonna get Jacob Rothschild. We gonna get them Rothschilds first. We gonna get what they got. Remember, Trump, Putin, Biden, Kim Jong-un, that's baby leaders. That's little boy leaders. Right? That's little boy leaders, man. We want the big fish in that big pond, right? That's who we want. We want those who know the ruling class of the Edomites. You see? Rothschilds, DuPonts, Gettys, Rockefellers. That's who we talking about. This who we go, and we go come down. And we say we speak that in confidence because we want to bear that number. When we come down, we ain't just go to your, we go come get you out your bunkers. Out them bunkers you got, right? Your hiding places, we go come get you out of that, as the scriptures say, man. you know. But nevertheless, it says, verse 4, and we took all his cities at that time. So look, we gonna go take these cities. We gonna go take the earth. And took all these cities at that time, and there was not a city which was not taken from them. And 60 cities, so 60 cities, in all the region of Argob, the kingdom of Og and Bashan. We gonna take kingdoms. It says, and all these cities were fenced with high walls, gates, and bars, beside unwalled towns and a great many. So they was nice, heavily fortified, and we took them easily. And it says, and we utterly destroyed them as we did unto Sihon, king of Heshbon, utterly destroying the men, the women, and the children out of the city. But the cattle and the spoils of the city we took for a prey. Right? And it goes on. Let's get this. Let's read this. Because I thought this was spiritual too, though. It says, verse 17, the plain also in Jordan and the coast thereof, from Chinnereth even unto the sea of the plain, even the salt sea under Pisgah eastward. Talking about all the land that he gave to the Reubenites and the Gadites. And it says, and I commanded you at that time, saying, the Lord your power have given you this land to possess it. Ye shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, and all that are meet for the war. But your wives, and I thought this was spiritual because I try, think about, meditate on the scriptures. Because when we all get beamed up, it's going to be the 144,000 and the 1/3 children and wives and all that, right? And when we come down out the chariots, I know, we gonna go over, take over the world. Hey, go take certain people like we've been going into out these bunkers, right? Out of certain hiding places. And I like to think about, well, our wives and children, I know they ain't gonna come because it's war. It's like going to war. I know they ain't gonna follow right behind us. I like to think what they gonna be doing, It may still be in a chariot while Yahweh Shai send us out, however the Lord got it. But nevertheless, even right here, the men went out to possess and take cities while the children and the wives abode still. Let's read it. It says, and ye shall pass over armed before your brethren, the children of Israel, all that are meet for the war, but your wives and your little ones and your cattle, for I know that ye have much cattle, shall abide in your cities which I have given you. Right? And it says, verse 21, and I command Joshua at that time, which is also spiritual, which is Yahushai. Joshua's name is Yahushai. And I command Joshua at that time, saying, thine eyes have seen all that Yahweh your power have done unto the two kings. So shall the Lord do unto all the kingdoms whither thou passest. And he going to do that for the real Yahushai. Let's get this real quick with King David, though. Because King David, it goes into King David taking over that, which is the house of David. And now I wind it down. Laptop about to die anyway. Right, I wind it down. Let's get this. 2 Samuel 8. And this is what the house of David gonna do. Once the Lord, first and foremost, Yahweh Shai, establish his dominion, which is the throne of David, which is he sitting on that throne. We gonna do this again. Take down all nations round about us as we take the world, man. This is 2 Samuel 8 and 1. It says, and after this, it came to pass that David smote the Philistines. Scratch one arm off the list. That's one enemy. Smote the Philistines and subdued them. And David took Meth-the-Gamma out of the land of the Philistines. So we slew the Philistines. We killed some of them, put some of them in captivity. That was subdue mean. Put some of them in captivity, and we took their land. Next it says, and he smote Moab and measured them with the line, casting them down to the ground. Even with 2 lines measured he to put to death, and with 1 full line to keep alive. Also, and it says, and so the Moabites became David's servants and brought gifts. Is this not going to happen again? Right? Put some of them to death, have some of them serving, bringing gifts. Ain't they going to bring gifts and stuff to us once we come down? So you got Philistines and Moab. It says David smote also Hadadezer, the son of Rahab, king of Zobah, as he went to recover his border at the river of Euphrates, taking land. And David took from him 1,000 chariots and 700 horsemen and 20,000 footmen. And David hauled all the chariot horses, but reserved them for 100 chariots. Right, we go take all these, the gold from the Rothschilds. Right, we go take everything they got, whatever is worth taking, because it's ours anyway. Next, it says, and when the Syrians of Damascus came to succor Hadadezer, king of Zobah, David slew of the Syrians 22,000 men. They want to help. You want to help? David got you too. See, look, our forefathers wasn't playing, man. Weren't playing. Ain't include no other nations. Look, our people got busy for our people, man. First and foremost, for our power and for our people. We gonna do this again. It says, then David put garrisons, and garrisons is like what? Embassies. So look, we had just like in the kingdom, we gonna have certain taskmasters over these certain lands, garrisons. Right? It says, then David put garrisons in Syria of Damascus, and the Syrians became servants to David and brought gifts. And the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. And David took shields of gold that were on the servants of Hadadezer and brought them to Jerusalem. And from Betah and from Berothai, the cities of Hadadezer, King David took exceeding much brass. And when Toi, king of Hamath, heard that David had smitten all the hosts of Hadadezer, then Toi sent Joram, his son, unto King David to salute him and to bless him, because he had fought against Hadadezer and smitten him. For Hadad, and I hope I'm saying that right, for Hadadezer had wars with Toi and brought with him vessels of silver, vessels of gold, and vessels of brass. All right, let's go down. Verse 14. It's the main one. And he put, who is he? King David. And he put garrisons in Edom, the so-called white people, throughout all Edom, put he garrisons. Extra surveillance in Edom. And throughout all Edom, he put garrisons. And all they of Edom became, all they of Edom, not Cornelius alone Edomite making it, which he wasn't an Edomite, but it says, all they of Edom became David's servants, and the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went, and David reigned over all Israel, and executed judgment and justice unto all his people. You see? So again, we look, the same thing will happen under Yahushua. We gonna take all these nations, man, under subjection. Once we come out them chariots, we're gonna get busy. This Revelation 2 and 25. It says, and that, this Yahushua speaking, by the way, it says, but that which ye have already, which is this truth we have, it says, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh, he that endureth to the end and be saved and get beamed up. It says, he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. As we've been reading, once we was going into our land, once the Lord saved us out of captivity, we was going to dwell in our land that was promised to us. On the way there, we overtook other nations, kings, lands, resources. So this time under Yahushua, just like back then, Joshua, right, under Yahushua, when he take us back to our land of milk and honey, we going to proceed to do it again, which is taking over kings, nations, resources, and lands, man. Once again, the house of David, 2.0, it says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. That's Yahushua. He received that as his father, as an inheritance. These heathens will be our inheritance, man. Why? Because we going to take them and possess them forever, even forever and ever. Let's go back to Daniel 7. This Daniel 7 and at the end. And point at 26, 27. But I'm going to start in 25 because it's the time we in. Going into us right now at the time of America. Verse 25. And he, talking about the so-called white man, by way of America, going into that other little horn coming up, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and time and a dividing of time. And we still in the so-called white man hands in captivity right now at this present time. But, right, remember, it's always that but. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they, who is the they? The saints again, and they, the Israelites, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. So we're going to take away the so-called white man and these other nations. It says, and next, and the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, which is on earth, under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him, man. All dominions, all people, all nations, all creation go serve and obey Yahushua, and by way of all nations, even us serving and obeying our Lord, we gonna get that same thing. And which is the blessing of Yahushua, and all nations go serve and obey us as well, man. And it says, hitherto is the end of the matter, is the conclusion of the Bible. And as for me, Daniel, my cogitations troubled me and my countenance changed in me, but I kept it in my heart, kept the matter in my heart. So that's what it is. You know, we gonna come down off them chairs and we gonna take over the world, man. You see, but with that Lord willing, this, lesson was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Chakodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. They keep fighting, keep pushing. And with that, Shalom.